This video is me running Gate of the Abyss. I have 7 castles. This shows the view from 4 of them. The other 3 I control on another phone. I did try and get an overview with a webcam. It didn't work out. So I start by making sure my Lord Talents are in the rally where all my military stuff is. Then I go to my bag and to the diamond shop specifically, and I buy the troop size boost, the attack boost, and the defense boost. I buy them each one first and then click use so that way I don't accidentally buy them twice or something. Then I go to my avatar and to the time limit artifacts where I get the lion statue, which also boosts troop size. Blade of Titan does attack and defense. It doesn't seem to be as helpful. All right, and by the way, this is my biggest castle, my C35. So, time to start the gate. I spent some time debating because normally we could get the 12 with the people who were online, but I was doing this, and so I knew I was going to be distracted and might not go smoothly. So I thought maybe 9 would be safer. But I think ultimately I went with the 12, and I think that was a mistake. I turn on Mega March, and then I start my rally, and cavalry is my best, so that's what I start with. Then I switch accounts, and then there's a pause around here because I switched to the other phone, and I run my second largest castle is on the other phone, and that's Jovi, and so I set up her stuff before coming back to this phone, and I had already done all the boosts earlier for all the other castles. Just Mega March was the only one that needs to be started. And so rally, and again cavalry, and switch to the next castle, and go to the other phone and do that. I did try to record. I found out I could record the screen on my other phone, and so I tried to do that. The attempt I made so far has not gone very smoothly. Hopefully in the future I will get that done where it'll be a side-by-side thing. But for now, I had apparently finished with the farm, so now with farm, so this would be Tiny 2, I believe I'm at. Cavalry. And at this point it's kind of repetitive, but I want to keep going because I want to show you what happens with the next set. And you'll notice I'm not joining any other rallies. I am just getting my rally started because that's actually the most efficient way to do it. It's the best way to make sure that when you come back around, you can get all your marches used. And this phone is faster than my other phone, and so I reached the micro. The micro was ready to go before the last castle on the other one, and so I had to do that first. So, get the micro going, which was being mean, and then back to my biggest castle, Paxson. So, this is where I join rallies. Now, because I have so many castles, I stick to my own rallies. That way, Jovi and Paxson especially, are the strongest castles. Paxson has T11s, nobody else does. And so, by having so many castles that run rallies and sticking to them, that's the problem with the gate. The strongest person in the rally gets the lion's share of the points. So I joined other accounts and then moved on, and at this point I'm over getting Jovi's marches into accounts, or into rallies, and going onward. I must have fumbled something for it to be taking this long. It happens sometimes. I think I am going to post the one I just did recently with massive fumbling. So again, I start with my infantry and just go down infantry ranged, and then whatever's left, and even more of whatever's left. The tinies are so small that I don't worry about keeping them to my rallies. They're not going to steal points from anybody, except maybe somebody else's farm. So, again, a pause while I get the farms marches out into rallies. And then I'll come back and do the tiny 2. I won't do the micro because, particularly at this point when I recorded this, the micro didn't have enough troops. And also, honestly, trying to get marches from 7 accounts everywhere, it doesn't work out. If things get even a little rough, I don't even get all of the minis marches. So the micro will probably never get more than the first one. So you can see, got sort of a rhythm going. Just get those marches out. And now it's time to go back to Paxson. And also get the minis marches. So there'll be a pause while I do that. It'll make a lot more sense when I get a split screen version done. On the other hand, if you don't have 6 castles, then it's, you'll spend more time sitting around waiting anyway. So, time it took me to do all that. In fact, my first rally has already hit the gate and is coming back. And this is apparently before I developed my new strategy. I actually have started using recall at this point because that undoes the it skips the 30-second march. So I use the recall, get that march back faster, and get the next march out. Again, when I do a better job, you'll see that. So I got the new rally out. And this is where it should get interesting if I did it right this time. I'm getting Jovi's done. Alright, so rally. Now, rather than wait for my cavalry, which I'd sent in the first rally, to come back, because it might not have yet, I'm going to use my infantry. And I do that for everyone but Paxson, because Paxson's usually the first one to launch, and so there is no other option. But because she's first, all the other castles that sent her their infantry, well, when she got her cavalry back, they got back their infantry, and so that's ready to go. There's no waiting on that. So as soon as I reach them, I can send out that infantry. So there we go with that. Unfortunately, of course, that doesn't work with the micro at this point because it doesn't really have another march. So I can't remember what I did here. It's the downside to recording audio later. I was apparently dealing with the other castles. And apparently I had fumbled things long enough that their march had come back. So I was able to do it immediately. Okay, so joining rallies. In some ways, it's a lot smoother when I'm the only one online, because then I don't have to scroll through and find my rallies, and I don't have to worry about other people joining my rallies. For Jovi and Paxton, it's not a big deal, but my tinies and the micro don't have the room for others. And yet, for some reason, people insist on joining them, even though there's other rallies with bigger legion sizes they could join. It gets frustrating at times. So, and then this is, okay, so I'm at Jovi now, which we can't see. Waiting, waiting, waiting. It's a lot less boring when I'm doing it, I'll tell you. I must have flubbed something. Which often happens because, you know, as I said, normally infantry would be my second, but I use that, and so I often, I get confused. So it gets a little tricky, the rounds where I use my infantry for the castle's rally, specific rally. But yeah, and so that's essentially how it goes. I don't really think I need to show y'all the whole thing because it's pretty much just repeating that. You know, I start Mega March, start the rallies with cavalry, start all the rallies, go back through and join other rallies. Then for the next set, Paxton will generally always start with cavalry, but then I try and have the other castles start with infantry for the second set. Oh, and I forgot, and I'm now doing a recall for Paxton and Jovi for that first set. Because as I said, Jovi's controlled on their phone, so I've got them going simultaneously, and hopefully I'll do a video. I'll be able to do a video on that soon. But yeah, so just keeps repeating over and over. I don't think we succeeded this time, but when I do things right and smoothly, I can get another rally out of Paxton, Jovi, and sometimes I think not recently, but the other day I got a last one out of Tiny One as well, because this phone is a S22, much newer, faster processor than the phone I use for Jovi, which is an old A10e. So, but that's how it goes. So, thanks for watching, and hopefully this gives you all some ideas.